infiltrating police departments, not just taking over America, interfacing with the mission of public. It was part of a long-term strategic plan to sell the military on this new unconstitutional mission. That's what this 10-state operation, or 8 states, is all about. Finding out who will work with them during the months of Arkansas. Most of the military is not involved in this. Those are special operations, Navy SEAL, and Green Berets, Delta Force, and others that are running this because their lines historically got run up against the millions. You have massive military gear in cash, armored vehicles, machine guns, helicopters, night things, and Humvees. We get police departments around the country, California, and the majority of it, along with Oklahoma and other areas, the population. Texas has gotten double what California's gotten. We have 10 million less than them. Oklahoma got basically double what California got, even though the crime rates are very low. The Stability Police Force in the United States is a brand corporation. This is the martial law thing. Feds can't really pay Texas, which state is hostile. They're prepared. I'm sitting there and they're preparing for the Texas. That's in the Ground Water Defense Authorization Act of 97. Insurrection by all soldiers and government. U.S. Army in a time of transition from their control of the U.S. and the video of our Army and military except the U.S. Army exclusive also the U.S. Army 72756 was 1962 plan finally and implemented. Homeland Security, they're also losing time. Refute conspiracy about $1.6 trillion. And then they go on to say, oh, we're not buying it for you, it's not illegal. It's now $3 billion around. And paper targets.
Oh.
Hi, Steve here. Well, my wife and I got married. We went to a seafood restaurant in Southern California where we were living. And we didn't know each other that well yet, but I asked her what she was going to get to eat. I told her a couple of things I really liked, and I recommended it to her that she try that particular seafood too. She told me no, she didn't like that. And I asked her, have you ever eaten it before? And she said no. And I asked her, and how do you know that you won't like it? She told me she never had that kind of food while she was growing up. I couldn't believe she's never tasted any kind of seafood in 20 plus years while she was growing up. But she hadn't. This is exactly the attitude of so many believers, so many Christians. They talk about the book of Enoch like my wife thought about the seafood. I've never read it, but I just know it's not of God. If it was good, it would have been in the scriptures. Or like I said many times before, it was in the scriptures. It was removed from the scriptures, and I know why. Another thing that I'd like to say before I get into this is I'm so tired of the ignorant comments and the almost worshipful attitude some believers have toward the King James Version of the Bible. For all those people that continue to try and push their glorifying exaltation for the King James Version, I just want to let you know that I have a King James Version, but I also have 6 other versions that I use to study, plus online. Using other versions to study can make a big difference in your comprehension of what the scriptures are saying. Reading only one version of the Word of God can not only be difficult, but also keep you in the dark about things you don't understand. Here's the best example of what I'm talking about. In 2 Samuel 8:2, we see a verse of scripture that makes no sense at all until you use a version of the Bible that makes it crystal clear. Look at the King James Version of this verse. And he smote Moab and measured them with a line, casting them down to the ground. Even with 2 lines measured he to put to death, and with 1 full line to keep alive. And so the Moabites became David's servants and brought gifts. You know what that means? Do you understand why David did this? Well, to be fair to the King James Version, I'll have to admit to you, I read several other versions of this scripture, and it wasn't much clearer. But one version made it crystal clear. And this is why I studied several versions of Scripture to understand the Word of God. Here's what that same verse in the complete Jewish Bible says. He also defeated Moab, making them lie down on the ground. He measured them with a length of cord, for every 2 lengths to be put to death. He designated 1 length to be kept alive. The people of Moab became subject to David and paid tribute. Why did he make them lie down on the ground? Because he didn't have a ladder with him to be able to measure them in a vertical position. You see how easy that is? You can measure anything when you lie it on the ground. And it was the 2 lengths of the cord that proved how tall these people were. They were the giants. You could try and argue, well, couldn't David see that already? Apparently David felt there was a certain cutoff point between a tall man and a giant. And he used this measurement to determine that. I'll put a link in the description box below for you to read more about all the different places where the giants are mentioned in the Bible. This article not only talks about the giants, but it also proves how the giants corrupted themselves with all of creation. It gives several examples of fossil evidence of giants and how they corrupted the birds, the beasts, the reptiles, and the fish, as mentioned in chapter 7 of the book of Enoch. Go read it. It's very, very informative. What would you say if I told you it was the very religious and political people who removed the book of Enoch that you lift to such high and lofty places? Who made the decision to remove or not to include the book of Enoch in the other scriptures? I don't know, but I do know that whoever it was must have been inspired to do it by Satan. The book of Enoch is in the Bible used by the Ethiopian Orthodox Church. As far as I know, it's the only one where they haven't included it. Something we need to keep in mind is that the book of Enoch was written before the rest of Scripture. It was written before Moses or Abraham were even born. The book of Enoch goes into great detail about many things that only the book of Enoch reveals. And the most important part of it is the Bible in several places confirms the writings of the book of Enoch. Anyone who ignores the book of Enoch is content and complacent in their ignorance. And in my opinion, ignorance is the greatest commodity in today's world. Much of it is deliberate, and the rest of it is by choice. There's so much information and detail that God has revealed through his prophet Enoch. It's definitely important to know. But the main reason this book has been left out of our contemporary Bibles, no matter what version you have, is because it exposes the fallen angels, the demonic activity of this earth, and the acts of creation and the way things really work, instead of how we've been taught and programmed to believe. The devil knows the less you understand about his deception, the easier it is to deceive you and to make you believe the lie. The lie of science is explained by men who only try to label the things that they understand, but the book of Enoch explains everything in a much different way about the sun, the moon, the stars, and what makes them work. Is the earth round, or is it really flat? There are some people that are simply too programmed already, and they wouldn't believe the things in the book of Enoch, even if you laid out the most compelling evidence in front of them. The early church knew these things, and it's only been in the last few hundred years or so that the church has been kept in the dark regarding the book of Enoch and the information that it contains. Why is it important to know the truth about everything God wants us to know and understand? In John chapter 8, Jesus said this to people who trusted in him. He said, if you obey what I say, then you are really my disciples. You will know the truth, and the truth will set you free. There's no doubt in my mind that God wants his people to understand him clearly and completely. That doesn't mean we'll know everything about the power or the glory of God, but we need to know everything he has already revealed through his prophets, including Enoch. The Apostle Paul made it clear in 1 Thessalonians 4 that he didn't want anyone in the church to be ignorant about those who had died. Could it be that the reason the Bible doesn't go into great detail in the way the book of Enoch does is because we have the book of Enoch, and it wasn't necessary to repeat the same things again? The book of Enoch explains things that no other part of Scripture does. Why is the book of Enoch seeming to come back after not being included for so many years? I think the answer may be in the book of Daniel. But here Daniel, keep these words secret and seal up the book until the time of the end. Many will rush here and there as knowledge increases. There are only two reasons that the book of Enoch would not be included anymore in Scripture. Either they were trying to protect us or deceive us. And the only reason they would want to deceive us is so they could control us. And I'm convinced that this is why mankind has been deceived. We all know what a lie is, but it's the purpose and intent of a lie being told that we really need to understand. Why does it matter that we believe the earth is flat or it's a globe, just like all the other planets that we see? Why does it matter if we believe in giants or not? Well, if you're a Christian, a real born-again believer with the Holy Spirit living in you, it's not as critical as someone who's not. But the problem is, you'll never be able to explain to someone who's not saved the questions they ask you. I've seen Christians just pretend like certain things aren't in the Bible that they don't understand. They remember what Jesus said? When you know the truth, that truth of knowing will set you free. He also said, for everyone who has something will be given more, so that he will have more than enough. But from anyone who has nothing, even what he does have will be taken away. When you don't use the gifts and talents and knowledge you have, even what you think you have is taken away. What did Paul write to Timothy? Do all you can to present yourself to God as someone worthy of his approval, as a worker with no need to be ashamed, because he deals straightforwardly with the word of truth. So let me be straightforward, and I'm telling you, this is Satan's plan. And you need to understand that he cannot do it except through men, in the same way that God chooses to use us as his instruments for righteousness on this earth. If Satan can convince the world that the earth is round and it's a globe spinning around in the universe, just like the other planets, that there's nothing special about Earth, it's just another planet that man can inhabit, but it's no different than Mars or anywhere else that could sustain life for mankind, then he can also convince you that there are aliens, extraterrestrial beings that came here and planted our species billions of years ago. The UFOs and all the other unexplained phenomena are the reality of the lie. And the truth is exactly what the book of Enoch and the Bible have recorded it to be. The fallen angels did come down and mate with human women that produced giants. And these giants were never meant to exist. And the consequences of these giants were destructive, catastrophic on mankind. Genesis chapter 6 mentions it, and the book of Enoch chapter 6 gives the gory details. The group of fallen angels that came down and mated with earthly women is 200. In comparison to the total of fallen angels, it was a small number, but the damage they caused was very great. The book of Enoch is where we discover that when the giants died in their physical bodies, their spirits were not human spirits, and they would continue to live without a body on the earth. Demons knew exactly who Jesus was. He was the Son of God, and they were aware of their ultimate doom. Both Luke chapter 11 and Matthew chapter 12, Jesus explains what happens when the evil spirits have no body. When an unclean spirit comes out of a person, it travels through dry country, seeking rest. On finding none, it says, I will return to the house I left. When it arrives, it finds the house swept and clean and put in order. Then it goes and takes 7 other spirits more evil than itself, and they come and live there. So that in the end, the person is worse off than he was before. Chapter 9 of the book of Enoch gives a detailed picture of depravity. In chapters 6 through 15 of the book of Enoch, we see in great detail the original abominations the fallen angels committed, what they taught women, their fate God pronounced on them, the destruction of earth by the flood. And in chapter 15, we see God's judgment on the giants. It says, and now the giants who are produced from the spirits and flesh shall be called evil spirits upon the earth, and on the earth shall be their dwelling. Evil spirits have proceeded from their bodies, because they are born from men and from the holy watchers is their beginning and primal origin. They shall be evil spirits on earth, and evil spirits shall they be called. But as for the spirits of the earth, which were born upon the earth, on the earth shall be their dwelling. And the spirits of the giants afflict, oppress, destroy, attack, do battle, and work destruction on the earth, and cause trouble. They take no food, but nevertheless hunger and thirst, and cause offenses. And these spirits shall rise up against the children of men and against the women, because they have proceeded from them. Without understanding the book of Enoch, the command of God to his chosen people to go in and destroy entire nations only seemed like an evil thing to do. But when you understand that these nations have the DNA of the fallen angels and giants, it becomes clear why they must be destroyed. Isaiah 4:6 says that God said, my people perish for a lack of knowledge. If you as a Christian believe the lies, then you will promote the lies, and you will mock and scoff at what the Bible says in the book of Enoch. When people ask you if you believe in a flat earth, and you say, oh, no, that's silly. Why should they believe that Jesus Christ died for their sins, rose from the dead, and descended into heaven to sit at the right hand of God Almighty the Father? Believing only 3/4 of the truth is acceptable to Satan, but it's not to God. I hear people say all the time, claiming to be Christians, they say, what difference does it make if I believe the earth is round or flat? It won't affect my salvation. Peter said, always be prepared to give an answer to everyone who asks you to give the reason for the hope that you have. Knowing the truth will help you do that. Hi, Steve here. I just want to say a special thank you to all of my supporters because without you, I wouldn't be able to do what I'm doing right now. I really appreciate your gifts, your support, your kindness, your generosity. I really appreciate you, and I just want you to know that. Thank you so much for helping me to continue to supply the videos and the website information. I'm thinking about it. Thanks so much. Hi, Steve here. The book of Enoch is fascinating because in it we're given more detail about so many areas that the rest of the scripture doesn't cover. And yet for anyone to say that the book of Enoch is not worthy to be included in the scriptures are simply ignorant. It just means you've never read the book. The Bible says Enoch walked with God and was a righteous man. The bottom line is Enoch was shown things that no other man has ever seen. The book of Enoch was written before the Bible and it was included in the scriptures until about 500 or so years ago. Who would want to keep the book of Enoch out of the scriptures? If the information in the book of Enoch supports the scriptures, then would it be God who wants to hide it, or would it be the devil? I heard people say ignorant things like, if God wanted the book of Enoch to be included in scriptures, it would have been. But that's like saying if God wanted me to be a dentist, I would have been born into a family where my dad was a dentist. He had choices, and the man decided not to include the book of Enoch in the other scriptures. Who were these men? And why did they not include it? You can read all kinds of different opinions and ideas and thoughts about it, but only those men who made the decision and God know for sure. Remember this though, just like Enoch says in the first chapter, the book was written and given to those who would live in the last days and the tribulation. Maybe this didn't fit some of the doctrine of the church leaders 500 years ago, so they said, let's not include it anymore. Let's take it out. We ended last time in chapter 21, where the lake of fire was shown to Enoch, and he says it was more horrible than the former place that he saw. A great fire was there, which burned and blazed, and the place was cleft as far as the abyss, being full of great descending columns of fire. Neither its extent or magnitude could I see, nor could even guess. How fearful is this place, and how terrible to look on. And Uriel, the angel that was with him, said, why are you so afraid, Enoch? Enoch said, because of the fearful place and because of the spectacle of the pain. The spectacle of the pain. Just imagine how much that troubled Enoch, that he couldn't even stand to look at it. And Uriel told him this is the place where the angels will be imprisoned forever. Now we go to chapter 22. By this time, the first murder had been committed from one brother over another brother, Cain and Abel. And I went to another place, and to show you in the west another great and high mountain, and a hard rock, and there was in it 4 hollow places, deep and wide and very smooth. How smooth are the hollow places, deep and dark to look at. Then Raphael, one of the angels who was with me, said, these hollow places have been created for this purpose, that the spirits of the souls of the dead should assemble here. Yes, all the souls of the children of men should assemble here. And these places have been made to receive them till the day of their judgment and till their appointed period, till the great judgment comes upon them. You have to remember, we are spirit, soul, and body. We live in this body, but our spirit and our soul will not die. The spirit and the soul of a human being are eternal. Jesus described this area that Enoch is talking about in Luke chapter 16 when he talked about the rich man and Lazarus. In verse 26, Jesus said, and beside all this, between us and you there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from here can't. Neither can they pass to us who would come from him. So there are divided areas in Hades. It's not just one big place. Verse 5. I saw the spirits of the children of men who were dead, and their voice went forth to heaven and made suit. And I asked Raphael, the angel who was with me, and I said, this spirit, whose is it? Whose voice is going forth and making their case? And he answered me, this is the spirit which went forth from Abel, whom his brother Cain slew. And he makes his suit sea is destroyed from the face of the earth, and his seed is annihilated from among the seed of men. Then I asked regarding it, regarding all the hollow places, why is one separated from the other? And he answered me and said, these three have been made that the spirits of the dead might be separated. And such a division has been made for the spirits of the righteous, in which there is the light spring of water, and such has been made for sinners. When they die, they are buried in the earth, and judgment has not been executed on them in their lifetime. This is why I never get upset or too disturbed about these career criminals called politicians who seem to get away with even murder and seem to escape justice on this earth. The book of Psalms, chapter 37, says, for evildoers will be cut off, but those that wait upon the Lord, they will inherit the earth. Verse 11, the angel said, here their spirits shall be set apart in this great pain, to the great day of judgment and punishment and torment of those who curse forever, and retribution for the spirits there, he shall bind them forever. And such a division has been made for the spirits of those who make their suit, who make disclosures concerning their destruction, when they were slain in the days of the sinners. This is the same thing it talks about in the book of Revelation, chapter 6. The souls of them that were slain for the word of God under the altar for the testimony which they held, and they cried out with a loud voice, saying, how long, O Lord, holy and true, will you not judge and avenge our blood on them that dwell on the earth? Righteous and godly men are always looking for justice, and they will get it. They will see it in the end. For those who don't seem to ever answer for their crimes or their injustices to other men, they will. No man, no woman will ever escape the justice from God. Verse 13. Such has been made for the spirits of men who were not righteous, but sinners who were complete in transgression. And of the transgressors they shall be companions. But their spirits shall not be slain in the day of judgment, nor shall they be raised from there. Then I blessed the Lord of glory and said, blessed be my Lord, the Lord of righteousness, who rules forever. Enoch realizes what an assurance it is to know that God is just, and that no man, no woman will escape and get by with any transgression or any sin. So we see in chapter 22 that there are actually three divisions of the dead. There's a section for the righteous, a section for the victims who have been slain, and a section holding the sinners. These three were created temporarily to house the spirits of the dead, that they might be separated. How just and fair is God, that he wouldn't keep those destined for hell and the lake of fire with those who are righteous, for those who were victimized by sinners. Chapter 23. From there I went to another place, to the west of the ends of the earth. For those of you who find it impossible to believe that we're on a flat earth, realize that a globe would have no end. A sphere would not have a place you can call the end. And I saw a burning fire which ran without rest, and paused not from its course day or night, but ran regularly. And I asked, what is this which rests not? Then Raphael, one of the holy angels who was with me, said, this course of fire which you have seen is the fire in the west, which persecutes all the luminaries of heaven. So Enoch saw something very similar to the lake of fire. And he saw what was prepared, where the angels, the devil, and the Antichrist and the false prophet will suffer for eternity. The next chapter goes into great detail about 7 magnificent mountains and the view of God's throne, and also the tree of life. All things that Christians will see with their very own eyes of eternity. But only for those of us who make Jesus Christ the Lord of our lives. Think about it. I see here, I just want to say that if and when the time ever comes when you can't find me on YouTube anymore because they maybe taken me off the channel, which is a possibility. They're continuing to censor Facebook, Google, YouTube, part of Google. They are censoring, and they will continue to censor us because they don't like what we're saying. They allow the porn, they allow the child pedophilia sites to stay, and those channels, and every other perverted thing. But because we're not a part of the world system, and we're not going to talk about the things that they approve of, then we could be removed. It'll start with censoring, it'll end with us completely being removed from the channel, and our channel will be taken down completely off YouTube. When that time comes, I want you to know that you can go to the website. I will start uploading videos onto my website, but that's what I have to do. So if and when that time comes, go to the websites and look for the videos there. Thanks. Well, I want to get back into the book of Enoch again, because the book of Enoch is a book that was written before the Bible, actually. And the interesting thing is that it just confirms everything in the scripture. The book of Enoch is never meant to replace the other scriptures. It simply confirms everything in the Bible. And that's why it's so amazing to me that some people say, oh, the book of Enoch, it shouldn't be included in the scriptures. We're glad it wasn't included in the scriptures. But the truth of it is, it was in the scriptures. I'll say this again. Up until a little over 500 years ago, it was considered part of the other scriptures. We're just going to go over 2 chapters today. But in these 2 chapters, it confirms what Jesus said. It confirms what David said. I think you'll find it interesting. Chapter 24 and chapter 25 of the book of Enoch. And from there I went to another place of the earth, and showed me a mountain range of fire which burned day and night. And I looked beyond it, and saw 7 magnificent mountains, all differing from each other, and the stones were magnificent and beautiful, magnificent as a whole, of glorious appearance and fair exterior. 3 towards the east, one founded on the other, and 3 towards the south, one upon the other, and deep rough ravines, no one of which joining with any other. And the 7th mountain was in the midst of these, and it excelled them in height, resembling the seat of a throne, and fragrant trees encircled the throne. And among them was a tree that I had never smelled before, neither was there any among them, nor other like it. It had a fragrance beyond all fragrance, and its leaves and bloom and wood withered not. And its fruit is beautiful, and its fruit resembles the dates of a palm. Then I said, how beautiful is this tree, and fragrant, and its leaves are fair, and its blooms very delightful in appearance. Then Michael answered, one of the holy and honored angels, who was with me and was their leader. See, the book of Enoch here is confirming that Michael is one of the angels. And although the book of Enoch talks about other angels that were not mentioned in the scriptures, that doesn't mean they aren't real. That doesn't mean they don't exist as well. Chapter 25. And he said to me, Enoch, what do you ask me regarding the fragrance of the tree? And why do you want to learn the truth? And I answered him, saying, I wish to know about everything, but especially about this tree. And he answered me, saying, this high mountain which you have seen, whose summit is like the throne of God, is his throne. What does it say in Revelation 22:1? And he showed me a pure river of water of life, clear as crystal, proceeding out of the throne of God and of the Lamb. So it confirms Revelation, what John wrote in the book of Revelation. This high mountain which you've seen, whose summit is like the throne of God, is his throne, where the holy great one, the Lord of glory, the eternal King, will sit. What does it say in Psalm 110?
my Lord, sit here at my right hand until I make your enemies your footstool. So now Revelation chapter 22 and Psalm 110 have both been confirmed. Enoch is actually seeing the area. It's the throne of God. He's actually seeing the tree of life and the river that flows out. This high mountain which you've seen, whose summit is like the throne of God, is his throne, where the holy great one, the Lord of glory, the eternal king, will sit, when he shall come down to visit the earth with goodness. And as for this fragrant tree, no mortal is permitted to touch it till the great judgment, when he shall take vengeance on all and bring everything to its consummation forever. It shall then be given to the righteous and holy. So no mortal will be allowed to eat from this tree, because this tree will give life forever after the great judgment. And when is that? Well, it's at the end of 1,000 years. In Revelation, it tells us that everyone is brought up from the earth and all over who have died, and even those who will not be raised in the first resurrection. In other words, the righteous will be allowed to be raised, and they will live in glorified bodies in the millennial period. The 1,000-year reign of Jesus Christ. The righteous will go through it. They will be allowed and blessed to be able to live when Jesus rules and reigns on the earth. But those who died before will stay in the graves until the end of the 1,000-year period. Its fruit shall be for food to the elect. It shall be transplanted to the holy place, to the temple of the Lord, the eternal King. What does it say in Revelation? Chapter 2, verse 7. He that has an ear, let him hear what the Spirit says to the churches. To him that overcomes will I give to eat of the tree of life, which is in the midst of the paradise of God. It says the same thing in Revelation. It's a confirmation. Then shall they rejoice with joy and be glad. And into the holy place will they enter. And its fragrance shall be in their bones. And they shall live a long life on earth, such as your fathers did. Revelation 22:2 says, in the midst of the street of it, and on either side of the river, there was the tree of life, which bore 12 manner of fruits, and yielded her fruit every month. And the leaves of the tree were for the healing of the nations. You see, after the 1,000-year millennial reign, Satan is allowed to come back out from his chained prison for a season, for a little while, so that those who live on the earth, who were born during this 1,000-year period under Christ's reign, will have the opportunity, just like we have now, to either follow God or follow the devil. Only this time, there won't be a great tribulation period. They will simply be destroyed. All those who gather against the Christ, the Messiah, Yeshua, Jesus, they will be destroyed. You can read about it in Revelation. And after that, there will be generations of people born on this earth. They won't have glorified bodies. They will live mortal bodies. But the tree of life will be there for them. And someone might say, well, what about the people that are going to do evil? I thought there would be no more evil. But there won't be, because there won't be any more devil. People will not learn evil ways anymore, and they shall live a long life on earth, such as your fathers lived. And in your days there shall be no sorrow or plague, or torment or calamity, such things. Then I bless the God of glory, the eternal King, who has prepared such things for the righteous, and has created them and promised to give to them. Our generation has to make a choice, just like the generations of the past. Since Jesus Christ came and died on the cross, was buried and rose from the dead, we now have an opportunity to be born again, to follow Jesus Christ as our Lord and Savior. Or we can choose death. We can choose darkness. We can follow the devil, believe his lies, just like he lied to Eve in the Garden of Eden. The devil told Eve that God lied to her, and she believed the lie, just like people do today. If you believe a lie and reject Jesus Christ, you will suffer the same fate as all the lost in generations past. and you will never see the tree of life. You will never live during the millennial reign, the 1,000-year reign of Jesus on this earth. He is coming back. He's coming soon. And for those who don't receive the love of the truth, they will believe the strong delusion that Satan is bringing upon this earth. And it's already started. Think about it. I've had people ask me and email me, where can I find your website address? Because I can't seem to find it. Well, it is, think about it, .online. And maybe it's the .online extension that confuses so many people instead of a .com. But it's thinkaboutit.online. And also, if you'd like to support this website and this YouTube channel, that is patreon.com/thinkaboutit. Or if you just go to the website, the Patreon link, the PayPal link, all the information is right there on the website. Thinkaboutit.online. I want to say thank you so much to all of my supporters and patrons. I appreciate you. I couldn't do this without you. Thanks so much. Here. Let's get into the study of the book of Enoch again. And this time we'll start at chapter 48, where Enoch describes what he was shown by God, including the Son of God. Chapter 48. And in that place I saw the fountain of righteousness, which was inexhaustible, and around it were many fountains of wisdom, and all the thirsty drank of them, and were filled with wisdom. Look at what Jesus said to the woman at the well in John 4:10. Yeshua answered her and said, if you knew God's gift, that is, who it is saying to you, give me a drink of water, then you would have asked him, and he would have given you living water. Matthew 5:6 says, how blessed are those who hunger and thirst for righteousness, for they will be filled. Enoch 48:1. And were filled with wisdom, and their dwellings were with the righteous and holy and elect. And at that door the Son of Man was named in the presence of the Lord of spirits, and his name before the head of days. So here, Enoch is being shown and told about God's Son. Remember, he was the first prophet. Yea, before the sun and the signs were created, before the stars of the heaven were made, his name was named before the Lord of spirits. He should be a staff to the righteous whereon to stay themselves and not fall. And he should be the light of the Gentiles and the hope of those who are troubled of heart. The prophet Isaiah talks more about this than anywhere else in the Old Testament and in the Gospel of Luke and in the book of Acts. This is all confirmed. Isaiah 92, you have enlarged the nation and increased their joy. They rejoice in your presence as if rejoicing at harvest time, the way men rejoice when dividing up the spoil. Isaiah 42:6, I, Adonai, called you righteously. I took hold of you by the hand, I shaped you, and made you a covenant for the people, to be a light for the Gentiles. Isaiah 49:6, he has said, it is not enough that you are merely my servant to raise up the tribes of Yaakov and restore the offspring of Israel. I will also make you a light to the nations, so my salvation can spread to the ends of the earth. Luke 2:32, a light that will bring revelation to the Gentiles and glory to your people Israel. Acts 13:47, for that is what Adonai has ordered us to do. I have set you as a light to the Gentiles, to be for deliverance to the ends of the earth. All who dwell on earth shall fall down and worship before him, and will praise and bless and celebrate with song the Lord of spirits. Verse 6, and for this reason has he been chosen and hidden before him, before the creation of the world and forevermore. The Egyptian Book of the Dead by E. A. Wallace Budd said, God who is one and alone and none other exists with him, God is the one who has made all things. God is a spirit, a hidden spirit, the spirit of spirits, the great spirit of the Egyptians, the divine spirit. God is from the beginning, and he has been from the beginning. He existed from old and was, when nothing else had been. He existed when nothing else existed. And what existed, he created after he had come into being. He is the Father of beings. God knows his form. No man has been able to seek out his likeness. He is hidden to gods and men, and he is a mystery unto his creatures. No man knows how to know him. His name remains hidden. His name is a mystery unto his children. His names are innumerable. They are manifold, and none knows their number. God is truth, and he lives by truth, and he feeds thereon. He is the King of truth, and he has established the earth thereupon. God is life. Through him only man lives. He gives life to man. He breathed the breath of life into his nostrils. God is father and mother, the father of fathers and the mother of mothers. He begets what was never begotten. He produces what was never produced. He begat himself and produced himself. He created what he was never created. He is a maker of his own form and the fashioner of his own body. God himself is existence. He endures without increase or gradually becoming less. God is merciful to those who reverence him and who hears him, who calls upon him. God knows him that acknowledges him. He rewards him that serves him and protects him that follows him. The Egyptian word amen meant the hidden one in heaven. In this context, we see Jesus using this reference to himself in Revelation 3:14. To the angel of the Messianic community in Laodicea, write, here is the message from the Amen, the faithful and true witness, the ruler of God's creation. Before the ancient Egyptians became apostate and idolatrous, the Egyptians knew God, and the wisdom of the Lord of spirits has revealed him to the holy and righteous. For he has preserved the lot of the righteous, because they have hated and despised this world of unrighteousness, and have hated all its works and ways in the name of the Lord of spirits. For in his name they are saved, and according to his good pleasure has it been in regard to their life. What does it say in the book of Acts 4:12 and in Psalm 2:8? Acts 4:12, there is salvation in no one else, for there is no other name under heaven given to mankind by whom we must be saved. Psalm 2:8, ask of me, and I will make the nations your inheritance. The whole wide world will be your possession. Verse 8, in these days downcast in countenance shall the kings of the earth have become, and the strong who possess the land because of the works of their hands. For on the day of their anguish and affliction, they shall not be able to save themselves. And I will give them over into the hands of mine elect. As a straw in the fire, so shall they burn before the face of the holy. As lead in the water shall they sink before the face of the righteous, and no trace of them shall any more be found. What does Revelation 26 say? Blessed, happy, prosperous, to be admired, and holy is the person who takes part in the first resurrection. Over these, the second death, which is eternal separation from God and the lake of fire, it has no power or authority, but they will be priests of God and of Christ, and they will reign with him 1,000 years. Revelation 14:10. He too will have to drink of the wine of the wrath of God, mixed undiluted into the cup of his anger, and he will be tormented with fire and brimstone, flaming sulfur, in the presence of the holy angels and in the presence of the Lamb. Like I've said, every time I've gotten into the book of Enoch, there are no inconsistencies in the prophecy from Enoch and in the rest of the scriptures. It's just more illuminated, and many, many times more details are given. And on the day of their affliction, there shall be rest on the earth, and before them they shall fall and not rise again, and there shall be no one to take them with his hands and raise them, for they have denied the Lord of spirits and his anointed. The name of the Lord of spirits be blessed. This section of the book of Enoch, along with Revelation 14:10, really shatters the whole false teaching that I hear some people talking about, that there's no eternal punishment. That's a false teaching, because both the book of Enoch and Revelation says differently. Just like this last verse in chapter 48 of the book of Enoch. They have denied the Lord of spirits and his anointed. The name of the Lord of spirits be blessed. What did Jesus say in Luke 12:9? But he that denies me before men shall be denied before the angels of God. His name is Yeshua. His name is Jesus. And he is the only name under heaven by which men must be saved. Acts 4:12. Think about it. I see you here. I want to ask for your help. I really need your financial support if you're able. I want to make that very clear. I do not ever want anyone helping this YouTube channel and my website and all the efforts that I put into it if you can't afford it. I am not like other people who just want your money whether you can afford it or not. If you can afford to help me, I really do need your help, and I would really appreciate you to consider giving on a monthly basis through either PayPal or Patreon, either one. If you'd like to help me, I'd really appreciate it. And like I said, I want to make this very, very clear. I do not want you to send me a penny if you cannot afford to. There are many people out there that are struggling. I understand that. And I don't want your money if you can't help me. This is a mission. I don't consider it a ministry, even though some people do. It is a mission. And the main purpose is that people know the truth, the whole truth. So if you're able to help me, please consider helping me. And for all of you who already are, thank you so much. I know there are people out there who can afford to easily give me $100 a month. It would be nothing for them to do that. But if you're like most of us, you're not able to do that. So I'm not begging. I'm only asking. I'm only letting you know that there is a need. And when the time comes that YouTube takes me down and shuts this channel down, I'll be forced to go and post all the videos on our website. And it will be even more critical than ever that I have as much support as possible so I can continue to do this. Thank you so very much. And thanks for your prayers, too. I appreciate it. Hey, Jeff. What is so special about the book of Enoch? He was the first prophet, and God showed him things that would all be confirmed later. All the other true prophets agreed with Enoch. But Enoch wrote, all of mankind referred to God as the Lord of Spirits. And even our Native American Indians refer to God as the God of Spirits. When you think about it, that's really who he is. In chapters 49 through 51, Enoch points out God's Son, and that it's the unrepentant of this world that will perish before him. There are certain cult denominations that say, we won't worship Jesus as the Son of God. We'll just worship God. That's kind of like saying, I'll cut out the middleman in a business deal and make more money for myself. The only problem with that is, when it comes to eternity and your soul, God's the one that determined that his Son would be the judge of all things, and only through him could any man ever be saved. You want the proof? Let's look at the book of Enoch. Chapter 49. For wisdom is poured out like water, and glory fails not before him forevermore. For his is mighty in all the secrets of righteousness, and unrighteousness shall disappear as a shadow, and have no continuance. Because the elect one stands before the Lord of spirits, and his glory is forever and ever, and his might unto all generations. Notice here we have the elect one, and he is standing before the Lord of spirits, the Father. Verse 3, and in him dwells the spirit of wisdom, and the spirit which gives insight, and the spirit of understanding, and of might, and the spirit of those who have fallen asleep in righteousness. Verse 4, and he shall judge the secret things. Psalm 98 says, he shall judge the world in righteousness. He shall minister judgment to the people in uprightness, and none shall be able to utter a lying word before him. For he is the elect one, before the Lord of spirits, according to his good pleasure. What does John 14:8 say? Philip, one of the disciples, said to Jesus, Lord, show us the Father, and it will be enough for us. Jesus replied to him, have I been with you so long without you knowing me, Philip? Whoever has seen me has seen the Father. And in John 3:35-36, Jesus says, the Father loves the Son and has put everything in his hands. Whoever trusts in the Son has eternal life, but whoever disobeys the Son will not see that life, but remains subject to God's wrath. Now chapter 50 of the book of Enoch makes it very clear. Salvation is through the name of Jesus. And in those days, a change shall take place, for the holy and elect and the light of days shall abide upon them, and glory and honor shall turn to the holy on the day of affliction, on which evil shall have been treasured up against the sinners. I want to say something about that, because it's talking about the end of the end times, before judgment comes, and God's wrath is poured out on this earth and on Satan's kingdom that only lasts for 3.5 years anyway. But here's the thing. People in the world don't understand. God's judgment has already happened as far as mankind is concerned, in the sense that he sent his only Son, that whoever believes in his name will be saved. So God's wrath is being poured out in these last of the last days, not against man, but against Satan. Man just happens to be on the earth, where the devil will also be too, in his Antichrist, in his representative of his kingdom. And the righteous shall be victorious in the name of the Lord of spirits. Enoch didn't know the name of the Son of God like we do, but he knew that it would be God's Son who was chosen to save mankind. Revelation 5:10 says, and has made us unto our God kings and priests, and we shall reign on the earth. And he will cause the others, the unsaved, to witness this, that they may repent and forego the works of their hands. And who are the others? Look at Revelation 9:20. And the rest of the men which were not killed by these plagues, yet repented not of the works of their hands, that they should not worship devils and idols and gold and silver and brass and stone and wood, which neither can see, nor hear, nor walk. Neither repented they of their murders, nor of their sorceries, nor of their fornications, nor of their thefts. So during the trumpet judgments in Revelation, there will still be people knowing that it's only through Christ that they can be saved, but they still will not repent of their sin and turn to God. Enoch is being shown these things by God. Verse 3, they have no honor to the name of the Lord of spirits, yet through his name they shall be saved. And the Lord of spirits will have compassion on them, for his compassion is great. And he is righteous also in his judgment, and in the presence of his glory, unrighteousness also shall not maintain itself. At his judgment, the repentant shall perish before him, and from henceforth I will have no mercy on them, saith the Lord of spirits. John 1:12 says, but as many as received him, to them he gave the power to become the sons of God, even to them that believe in his name. Acts 2:21 says, and it shall come to pass that whosoever shall call on the name of the Lord shall be saved. Acts 4:12, neither is there salvation in any other name, for there is no other name under heaven given among men whereby we must be saved. Romans 10:13, for whosoever shall call upon the name of the Lord shall be saved. Enoch was shown all of this before any of the Old Testament prophets ever knew about it. Chapter 51. Here Enoch shows us a vista of Judgment Day and the resurrection of the dead. And in those days shall the earth also give back that which has been entrusted to it, and Sheol also shall give back that which it received, and hell shall give back that which it owes. Look at Revelation 20:13. It says the same thing. And the sea gave up the dead which were in it, and death and hell delivered up the dead which were in them. And they were judged, every man according to their works. See, for the people that are saved, they're judged by the blood of Christ, and what he did covers them from judgment. There will be no judgment for them. But for those who would not repent, and receive salvation through Christ, they are judged severely by the evil they committed. For in those days the elect one shall arise, and he shall choose the righteous and holy from among them. For the day is drawn near that they should be saved. And the elect one shall in those days sit on my throne, and his mouth shall pour forth all the secrets of wisdom and counsel, for the Lord of spirits has given them to him, and has glorified him. Isn't that what it says in John 6:44? No man can come to me except the Father which has sent me draw him, and I will raise him up at the last day. And in those days shall the mountains leap like rams, and the hills also shall skip like lambs, satisfied with milk. And the faces of all the angels in heaven shall be lit up with joy, and the earth shall rejoice, and the righteous shall dwell upon it, and the elect shall walk thereon. So the first prophet of mankind, like Adam was the first man God created, Enoch was the first prophet to ever reveal God's plan to us. And we who are alive in this generation will see the fulfillment of what Enoch told us thousands of years ago. Think about it. Hi, Steve here. I just want to briefly say one thing about this effort to really stifle free speech, especially conservative views, Christian views, and patriot views. I'm not the biggest patriot. I love my country, and I love America because I was born here, and I really love the freedoms that we enjoy. But the efforts by the globalists, the leftists, the communists is really, really reaching a fever pitch. And what I don't want to happen is I don't want you to not know where to find me. Once they take my channel off YouTube, once they stop me from posting on Twitter or Facebook, in fact, let me mention two sites. One is gab.ai, G-A-B.ai. And that's one site where it's almost like a Twitter replacement, and I'm using it right now. And also there's minds.com, that's minds.com. And that's one you can use as a replacement for Facebook. So I recommend getting on there. I'm using both of those platforms right now, and I will probably end up moving completely off Twitter and Facebook because of the censorship, and they're just utter, dislike of anybody who has another view other than the New World Order, the globalist view, the one world government. So I encourage you to get on those websites, but I also want to say how much I appreciate all of you so much for your support. Your financial support allows me to continue to make the videos, to continue to get the truth out, and I won't stop even if they shut me down. And I just want to mention that if that day comes very soon, and it could, I just want you to go to my website at thinkaboutit.online or thinkaboutit.news. Either one of those sites I plan on keeping up, and I will also post information on how you can find the videos. I don't know right now what platform I'll use. I know that Mike Adams is starting up, or planning on starting up a brand new video channel, and I will probably use that platform. So anyway, stay tuned. Keep in touch with me through the website. I don't send out emails. I don't spam people. So I just want you to know that if there's ever a time when you can't find my videos or you can't find my channel on YouTube anymore, please go to the website and find out where I'm at or where I will be very soon. Thanks again, all of my supporters. I really love you and I really appreciate you. And thanks for your financial gifts. If you're not able to give, just spread the video. Please just send the links out, send the videos out to everyone you can. Thanks so much. I appreciate every one of you.
These are the words of the blessing of Enoch, according to which he blessed the chosen and righteous who must be present on the day of distress, which is appointed for the removal of all the wicked and impious. And Enoch began his story and said, there was a righteous man whose eyes were opened by the Lord, and he saw a holy vision in the heavens, which the angels showed to me. And I heard everything from them, and I understood what I saw. But not for this generation, but for a distant generation that will come. Concerning the chosen I spoke, and I uttered a parable concerning him. The holy and great one will come out of his dwelling, and the eternal God will tread from there upon Mount Sinai, and he will appear with his host, and will appear in the strength of his power from heaven. And all will be afraid, and the watchers will shake, and fear and great trembling will seize them up to the ends of the earth. And the high mountains will be shaken, and the high hills will be laid low and will melt like wax in a flame. And the earth will sink, and everything that is on earth will be destroyed, and there will be judgment upon all, and upon all the righteous. But for the righteous he will make peace, and he will keep safe the chosen, and mercy will be upon them. They will all belong to God, and will prosper and be blessed, and the light of God will shine on them. And behold, he comes with 10,000 holy ones to execute judgment upon them, and to destroy the impious, and to contend with all flesh concerning everything that the sinners and the impious have done and wrought against him. Contemplate all the events in the sky, how the lights in the sky do not change their courses, how each rises and sets in order, each at its proper time, and they do not transgress their law. Consider the earth and understand from the work that is done upon it, from the beginning to the end, that no work of God changes as it becomes manifest. Consider the summer and the winter, how the whole earth is full of water, and the clouds and dew and rain rest upon it. Contemplate and see how all the trees appear withered, and all their leaves are stripped, with the exception of the 14 trees, which are not stripped, which remain with the old leaves until the new come after 2 or 3 years. And again, contemplate the days of summer, how at its beginning the sun is above it. You seek shelter and shade because of the heat of the sun, and the earth burns with scorching heat, and you cannot tread upon the earth or upon a rock because of its heat. Contemplate how the trees are covered with green leaves and bear fruit, and understand in respect of everything, and perceive how he who lives forever made all these things for you, and how his works are before him in each succeeding year, and all his works serve him and do not change. But as God has decreed, so everything is done. And consider how the seas and rivers together complete their task. But you have not persevered in, nor observed the law of the Lord. But you have transgressed and have spoken proud and hard words with your unclean mouth against his majesty. You hard of heart, you will not have peace. And because of this, you will curse your days, and the years of your life you will destroy, and the eternal curse will increase, and you will not receive mercy. In those days, you will transform your name into an eternal curse to all the righteous, and they will curse you sinners forever. For the chosen, there will be light, joy, and peace, and they will inherit the earth. But for you, the impious, there will be a curse. When wisdom is given to the chosen, they will all live, and will not again do wrong, either through forgetfulness or through pride, but those who possess wisdom will be humbled. They will not again do wrong, and they will not be judged in all the days of their life, and they will not die of wrath or anger, but they will complete the number of days of their life. And their life will grow in peace, and the years of their joy will increase in gladness and eternal peace, all the days of their life. And it came to pass, when the sons of men had increased, that in those days there were born to them fair and beautiful daughters. And the angels, the sons of heaven, saw them and desired them. And they said to one another, Come, let us choose for ourselves wives from the children of men, and let us beget for ourselves children. And Shemyaza, who was their leader, said to them, I fear that you may not wish this deed to be done, and that I alone will pay for this great sin. And they all answered him and said, Let us all swear an oath, and bind one another with curses, so not to alter this plan, but to carry out this plan effectively. Then they all swore together, and all bound one another with curses to it. And they were in all 200, and they came down on Artis, which is the summit of Mount Hermon. And they called the mountain Hermon because on it they swore and bound one another with curses. And these are the names of their leaders: Shemyaza, who was their leader, through Akiba, Ramiel, Kokabiel, Tamiel, Ramiel, Daniel, Ezekiel, Barakiel, Asael, Armagros, Badariel, Ananiel, Zachiel, Samsiel, Sadariel, Turiel, Yomiel, and Sariel. These are the leaders of the 200 angels, and all the others with them. And they took wives for themselves, and everyone chose for himself one each. And they began to go into them and were promiscuous with them. And they taught them charms and spells, and they showed them the cutting of roots and trees. And they became pregnant and bore large giants, and their height was 3,000 cubits. These devoured all the toil of men, until men were unable to sustain them. And the giants turned against them in order to devour men. And they began to sin against birds, and against animals, and against reptiles, and against fish. And they devoured one another's flesh, and drank the blood from it. Then the earth complained about the lawless ones. And Azazel taught men to make swords, and daggers, and shields, and breastplates. And he showed them the things after these, and the art of making them, bracelets and ornaments, and the art of making up the eyes, and of beautifying the eyelids, and the most precious stones, and all kinds of colored dyes. And the world was changed. And there was great impiety and much fornication, and they went astray, and all their ways became corrupt. Amazarak taught all those who cast spells and cut roots. Amaros the release of spells, and Barakiel astrologers, and Kokabiel portents, and Tamiel taught astrology, and Asaragel taught the path of the moon. And at the destruction of men they cried out, and their voices reached heaven. And then Michael, Gabriel, Zuriel, and Uriel looked down from heaven and saw the mass of blood that was being shed on the earth, and all the iniquity that was being done on the earth. And they said to one another, Let the devastated earth cry out with the sound of their cries up to the gate of heaven. And now to you, O holy ones of heaven, the souls of men complain, saying, Bring our complaint before the Most High. And they said to their Lord, the King, Lord of lords, God of gods, King of kings, your glorious throne endures for all the generations of the world, and blessed and praised. You have made everything, and power over everything is yours, and everything is uncovered and open in front of you, and you see everything, and there is nothing that can be hidden from you. See then that what Azazel has done, how he has taught all iniquity on the earth, and revealed the eternal secrets that are made in heaven. And Simyaza made known spells, he to whom you gave authority to rule over those who are with him. And they went into the daughters of men together, lay with those women, became unclean, and revealed to them these sins. And the women bore giants, and thereby the whole earth has been filled with blood and iniquity. And now behold, the souls which have died cry out and complain unto the gate of heaven, and their lament has ascended, and they cannot go out into the face of the iniquity which is being committed on the earth. And you know everything before it happens, and you know this, and what concerns each of them, but you say nothing to us. What ought we to do with them about this? And then the Most High, the great and holy one, spoke and sent Arkansas-72756, the son of Lamech, and said to him, say to him in my name, hide yourself, and reveal to him the end which is coming, because the whole earth will be destroyed. A deluge is about to come on all the earth, and all that is in it will be destroyed. And now teach him so that he may escape, and his offspring may survive for the whole earth. And further the Lord said to Raphael, bind Azazel by his hands and his feet, and throw him into the darkness, and split open the desert which is in Judea, and throw him in there. And throw on him jagged and sharp stones, and cover him with darkness, and let him stay there forever, and cover his face so that he may not see the light, and so that on the great day of judgment he may be hurled into the fire. And restore the earth which the angels have ruined, and announce the restoration of the earth. For I shall restore the earth, so that not all the sons of men shall be destroyed because of the knowledge which the watchers made known and taught to their sons. And the whole earth has been ruined by the teaching of the works of Azazel, and against him write all sin. And the Lord said to Gabriel, proceed against the bastards and the reprobates, and against the sons of the fornicators, and destroy the sons of the fornicators and the sons of the watchers from amongst men, and send them out. Send them against one another, and let them destroy themselves in battle, for they will not have length of days. And they will petition you, but the petitioners will gain nothing in respect of them, for they hope for eternal life, and that each of them will live life for 500 years. And the Lord said to Michael, go, inform Simyaza and the others with him, who have associated with the women to corrupt themselves with them in all their uncleanness. When all their sons kill each other, and when they see the destruction of their loved ones, bind them for 70 generations under the hills of the earth, until the day of their judgment and of their consummation, until the judgment, which is for all eternity, is accomplished. And in those days they will lead them to the abyss of fire and torment, and in prison they will be shut up for all eternity. And then Simyaza will be burnt, and from then on destroyed with them. Together they will be bound until the end of all generations, and destroy all the souls of lust in the sons of the watchers, for they have wronged men. Destroy all wrong from the face of the earth, and every evil work will cease. And now all the righteous will be humbled, and will live until they beget thousands. And all the days of their youth and their Sabbaths they will fulfill in peace. And in those days the whole earth will be tilled in righteousness, and all of it will be planted with trees, and it will be filled with blessing. And all the pleasant trees they will plant on it, and they will plant on it vines. And the vine that is planted on it will produce fruit in abundance. And every seed that is sown on it, each measure will produce 1,000. And each measure of olives will produce 10 baths of oil. And you cleanse the earth from all wrong, and from all iniquity, and from all sin, and from all impiety, and from all the uncleanness which is brought about on the earth. And all the sons of men shall be righteous, and all the nations shall serve and bless me, and all shall worship me. And the earth will be cleansed from all corruption, and from all sin, and from all wrath, and from all torment. And I will not again send a flood upon it for all generations forever. And in those days I will open the storehouses of blessing which are in heaven, so that I may send them down upon the earth, upon the work, and upon the toil of the sons of men. Peace and truth will be united for all the days of eternity and for all the generations of eternity. And then Enoch disappeared, and none of the sons of men knew where he was hidden, where he was, or what had happened. And all his doings were with the holy ones and with the watchers in his days. And I, Enoch, was blessing the great Lord and the King of eternity. And behold, the watchers called to me, Enoch the scribe, and said to me, Enoch, scribe of righteousness, go and inform the watchers of heaven, who have left the high heaven in the holy eternal place, and have corrupted themselves with women, and have done as the sons of men do, and have taken wives for themselves, and have become completely corrupt on the earth. They will have on earth neither peace nor forgiveness of sin, for they will not rejoice in their sons. The slaughter of their beloved ones they will see, and over the destruction of their sons they will lament and petition forever. But they will have neither mercy nor peace. And Enoch went and said to Azazel, you will not have peace. A severe sentence has come out against you that you should be bound, and you will have neither rest nor mercy, nor the granting of any petitions, because of the wrong which you have taught, and because of all the works of blasphemy and wrong and sin which you have shown to the sons of men. And then I went and spoke to them all together, and they were all afraid. Fear and trembling seized them. And they asked me to write out for them the record of a petition, so that they might receive forgiveness, and to take a record of the petition up to the Lord in heaven. For they were not able from then on to speak, and they did not raise their eyes to heaven out of shame for their sins, for which they had been condemned. And then I wrote out the record of their petition, and their supplication in regard to their spirits and the deeds of each one of them, and in regard to what they asked, that they should obtain absolution and forbearance. And I went and sat down by the waters of Dan, in Dan, which is southwest of Hermon, and I read out the record of their petition until I fell asleep. And behold, a dream came to me, and visions fell upon me. And I saw a vision of wrath, that I should speak to the sons of heaven and reprove them. And I woke up and went to them, and they were all sitting gathered together as they mourned in Ubazayah, which is between Lebanon and Sinai, with their faces covered. And I spoke in front of them all the visions that I had seen in my sleep, and I began to speak these words to reprove the watchers of heaven. This book is the word of righteousness and of reproof for the watchers who are from eternity, as the Holy and Great One commanded in that vision. I saw in my sleep what I will now tell with the tongue of flesh and with my breath, which the Great One has given men in the mouth, so that they might speak with it and understand with the heart. As he has created and appointed men to understand the word of knowledge, so he created and appointed me to reprove the watchers, the sons of heaven. And I wrote out your petition, but in my vision, thus it appeared, that your petition would not be granted to you for all the days of eternity, and complete judgment has been decreed against you, and you will not have peace. And from now on, you will not ascend into heaven for all eternity, and it has been decreed that you will be bound on earth for all the days of eternity. And before this, you will have seen the destruction of your beloved sons, and you will not be able to enjoy them, but they will fall before you by the sword. And your petition will not be granted in respect of them or in respect of yourselves. And while you weep and supplicate, you do not speak a single word from the writings which I have written. And the vision appeared to me as follows. Behold, clouds called me in the vision, and mists called me, and the path of the stars and flashes of lightning hastened me and drove me. And in the vision winds caused me to fly, and hastened me, and lifted me up into the sky. And I proceeded until I came near a wall which was made of hailstones, and a tongue of fire surrounded it. And it began to make me afraid. And I went into the tongue of fire and came near to a large house, which was built of hailstones, and the wall of that house was like a mosaic of hailstones, and its floor was snow. Its roof was like a path of the stars and flashes of lightning, and among them was fiery cherubim, and their sky was like water. And there was a fire burning around its wall, and its door was ablaze with fire. And I went into that house, and it was as hot as fire and as cold as snow, and there was neither pleasure nor life in it. Fear covered me, and trembling took hold of me. And as I was shaking and trembling, I fell on my face. And I saw in the vision, and behold, another house which was larger than the former, and all its doors were open before me, and it was built of a tongue of fire. And in everything it so excelled in glory and splendor and size, so that I am unable to describe to you its glory and its size. And its floor was fire, and above lightning and the path of the stars, and its roof also was a burning fire. And I looked, and I saw in it a high throne, and its appearance was like ice, and its surrounds like the shining sun and the sound of cherubim. And from underneath the high throne there flowed out rivers of fire, so that it was impossible to look at it. And he who is great in glory sat upon it, and his raiment was whiter than the sun, and whiter than any snow. And no angel could enter. And at the appearance of the face of him who is honored and praised, no creature of flesh could look. A sea of fire burnt around him, and a great fire stood in front of him, and none of those around him came near to him. 10,000 times 10,000 stood before him, but he needed no holy counsel. And the holy ones who were near to him did not leave by night or day, and did not depart from him. And until then I had a covering on my face as I trembled. And the Lord called me with his own mouth and said to me, Come here, Enoch, to my holy word. And he lifted me up and brought me near to the door, and I looked with my face down. And he answered me, and he said to me with his voice, Hear, do not be afraid, Enoch, you righteous man, and scribe of righteousness. Come here and hear my voice. And go say to the watchers of heaven who sit you to petition on their behalf, you ought to petition on behalf of men, not men on behalf of you. Why have you left the high, holy, and eternal heaven, and lain with women, and become unclean with the daughters of men, and taken wives for yourselves, and done as the sons of the earth, and begotten giant sons? And you were spiritual, holy, living an eternal life, but you became unclean from the women, and begot children through the blood of flesh, and lusted after the blood of men, and produced flesh and blood, as they do, who die and are destroyed. And for this reason I give men wives, so that they might sow seed in them, and so that children might be born by them, so that deeds might be done on the earth. But you, formerly, were spiritual, living an eternal, immortal life for all the generations of the world. For this reason I do not arrange wives for you, because the dwelling of the spiritual ones is in heaven. And now the giants who were born from body and flesh will be called evil spirits on the earth, and on the earth will be their dwelling. And evil spirits came out from their flesh, because from above they were created. From the holy watchers was their origin and first foundation. Evil spirits they will be on earth, and spirits of the evil ones they will be called. And the dwelling of the spirits of heaven is heaven, but the dwelling of the spirits of the earth who were born on the earth is earth. And the spirits of the giants do wrong, are corrupt, attack, fight, break on the earth, and cause sorrow. And they eat no food, do not thirst, and are not observed. And these spirits will rise against the sons of men and against the women, because they came out of them during the days of slaughter and destruction. In the death of the giants, wherever the spirits have gone out from their bodies, their flesh will be destroyed before the judgment. Thus they will be destroyed until the day of the great consummation is accomplished, upon the great age, upon the watchers and the impious ones. And now to the watchers, who sent you to petition on their behalf, who were formerly in heaven. You were in heaven, but its secrets had not yet been revealed to you, and a worthless mystery you knew. This you made known to women in the hardness of your hearts. And through this mystery the women and the men caused evil to increase on the earth. Say to them, therefore, you will not have peace. And they took me to a place where they were like burning fire. And when they wished, they made themselves look like men. And they led me to a place of storm, into a mountain, the tip of whose summit reached to heaven. And I saw lighted places, and thunder in the outermost ends. In its depths, a bow of fire, and arrows in their quivers, and a sword of fire, and all the flashes of light. And they took me to the water of life, as it is called, and to the fire of the west, which receives every setting of the sun. And I came to a river of fire, whose fire flows like water, and pours out into the great sea, which is towards the west. And I saw all the great rivers, and I reached the great darkness, and went where all flesh walks. And I saw the mountains of the darkness of winter, and the place where the water of all the deeps pours out. And I saw the mouths of all the rivers of the earth, and the mouth of the deep. And I saw the storehouses of all the winds, and I saw how with him he has adorned all creation. And I saw the foundations of the earth, and I saw the cornerstone of the earth, and I saw the four winds which support the earth and the sky. And I saw how the winds stretched out the height of heaven, and how they position themselves between heaven and earth. They are the pillars of heaven. And I saw the winds which turn the sky and cause the disk of the sun and all the stars to set. And I saw the winds on the earth.
Press on my picture. Press on my picture. Say what? Say what? Then, then, it takes you to my pictures. That's right. Those are my videos in that channel. That's right. Those are my videos in that channel.
great. It's okay. Low, flatter, international conference. USA. We're always North Carolina. And daily events for a lot of media, including the Howard Stern show. So I'm not sure why this is coming out way past, this is the most obvious case after the conference or during the conference, but why it's coming out now. But Stern show staffer, Mehmet Walker, and his 123 attitude that started on the world around. That he was taken with that violence against him. Honestly, true. According to Mehmet, there was everything that all of these are. There's a lot of what you see inside of the universe that has to be scientists that wrong. Those who take the people that are probably are walking around the head. Those who believe the black world views and the Bible. And those who are convinced that the conspiracy will take the realm. One judge is like for why the world must be done. When he uses expression program, he knows better than feel anything for service. They can drive up the most things in great work. However, when it comes to the rest of the world, he's not so sure about the national holiday. I can look over this guy and see something is round, but I don't know what's tomorrow. But you're right. I have something not dead. Maybe my life, and that's all I see. So, so far so good. They're going through this thing. But what I find interesting is they're going to get into some pretty bizarre things. In the quest to discover the history of the vast Sahara Desert, geologists have so far uncovered two important clues. Sea fossils in the Great Pyramid Dome show these building blocks were once underwater. Whale revealed that a sea submerged much of the Sahara 37 million years ago. As the forces of plate tectonics pushed the Sahara out from under the sea, it created a tropical climate. In order to figure out what made it into the wasteland visible today, scientists had to pinpoint the moment of its birth. The clues to this mystery turn out to be hidden in the last place Bentonville spent. 20 million years, the Sahara Desert was once tropical. Geologists are now putting together the story of the next storm. Today, the Sahara lies in what is known as the desert. Lies is moisture. Here, strong winds and sky clouds fly out the land. It stretches from the desert in China and across the deserts of the southwestern United States. The Sahara is the largest, yet geologists know next to nothing about its structure. They are a kind of hourglass that help measure the age of the desert. The wind is a brutal creature. It picks up sand and throws it to the water. figuring out how long that took will help you save the way.
Especially how long it would take for the wind to carve this all out. Something like this that 15 feet high, soft rock. Some of the videos is 3 to 300,000 years. But to carve out the whole ocean of present, would got to be every million years.
But geologists expect the Sahara is older than we know. In their search for a more accurate date, they next turn to its most iconic sand dunes. Here in the Sahara, sandstorms pick up and last for 4 days. The sand hurls across the terrain. Over hundreds of thousands of meters accumulate into dunes that can tower 50 stories high. Perhaps these mountains of sand hold the secret to every great sea.
It becomes very disgusting. And if you want to know how long that took, you can try and gauge the dunes themselves, but that's really hard.
Their precise data suggests that the scientists often sand and sand design.
Well, sand, that was close. I never go all that far. But the final particles will actually travel further. So rough cut present actually get 10,000 feet later.
The Sahara is the largest source of dust on the planet. 500 million tons end up in the Atlantic every year. Some of the regions as far as Florida create spectacular red sunflowers. Much settled on the ocean floor, a treasure trove of information about the Sahara's past. In 1995, the LMAO drilled down into the ocean floor and was able to discover dating back millions of years. Each layer of sediment is like a time machine. Shallow levels show plenty of dust blown over from the surface. So the LMAO extracted deeper core samples over a million years ago. It was every dust. Finally, we dug down to a level that was laid down 3 million years ago. Then the dust finally stopped. It had taken a voyage to the ocean floor, but by the returning point, we had dropped the landscape into searing waves.
That was pretty amazing. Don't think of something as large and expansive and thick as the Sahara Desert. But there's something capable of such profound movement. And yet it's what you are.
The LMAO had finally solved the mystery. The Sahara had been a wasteland for 3 million years. In the search to discover the age of the Sahara, geologists have unearthed 2 startling clues. Data has shown that ingrown sand has been blasting across the desert for at least 1 million years. Deep sea core, to be more exact, the Sahara first produced washed sand 3 million years ago. Not long at all, the Sahara became the searing wasteland we see today. It seems that geology alone can explain the condition of the world's largest desert. Then, a new brain fitted with a space telescope slightly improved Sahara, but immediately of humanity. All the sentence, one group of people to be that. The first one, food. Sometime between 80 and 150,000 years, modern humans started a long journey out of Africa. No one knows for certain what fruit they shared. The prevailing view is that the Sahara was independent, so humans left East Africa and South, then crossed a land bridge into the Arabian Peninsula. But trace the steps. If the Metamucil was fed by a river, so our ancestors full of ran full of the fine fruit, great heads to one of the few areas in the desert where water is cold. Small spring, shelters of bountiful listen, blank, this sickly favors on the earth to exclusive pleasures that dates from late century, but they left almost 3,000 miles away on the other side of the Sahara. Scientists now know the first fossil was the Sahara like a finger, so wet to dry every 20,000 years like fossil. The investigation has now revealed two clues to how these fossils affect the Sahara. Dating back to 90,000 years proves the desert was once covered by giant freshwater meadows. Bicycles shows the Sahara was crossed by a river that created a corridor of life across the sand. But scientists still needed concrete information about how rapid changes occurred. Then, an Egyptian archaeologist made a stunning discovery within the eyewitness account of the Sahara's last phase, the most dramatic climate change of the last 10,000 years. Scientists piecing together the history of the world and uncovered a remarkable theory. 4 million years ago, Sahara turned to desert. It is formed between grassland and wasteland for every 20,000 years. Scientists now turn to the more recent geological factors of the last 10,000 years to discover how fast the deposition changed. Investigators head to a valley deep beneath the desert. Their first clue to unravel the mystery is a small circle of stone. Essentially, the foundation of the house. It is irregular, received a natural house next to each other's number.
Mm, mm,
Scientists now know that every 20,000 years, water in this soil shifts the monster north, so rain pours down onto the desert. Called the Nubian like a giant subterranean flood, below Egypt, Libya, and Sudan. Even one deep underground, gives the Sahara extremely hot temperatures. In 1922, in neighboring Libya, the mercury touched 136 degrees, a record still not beaten. But ironically, the water is protected by the desert itself. Layers of clay encase the sediment. The clay keeps out the harsh sun. It also acts on the soil, trapping water within the rocks and creating fault lines in the clay are the pillars of the desert in the soil. This reserve of water is a legacy of the Sahara's largely changed past. The remains will be giant lakes and rivers. This is just one aspect. Scientists are now using ground-penetrating radar to take and map other avenues across the Sahara. They hold the promise of even more fresh water. This new technology offers hope. The desert will once more turn greener, reclaimed for agriculture, farming. Place the plan, eventually there will be 200 wells of water, but drilling will prove a short-term solution. It will start the long way, not the engineering. Eventually, you're going to run out. Water that's for a preserve occupants in the area, accumulated over a million years, temporarily gone in that time. Once the underground water dries up, the desert will have to open up 15,000 acres for once more one Earth's largest unconsumed reserve. The mystery of what created the Sahara Desert has revealed a surging pattern. Whale bones in the desert show that 4 million years ago the Sahara was a secret. Deep glacial cores against uniform sand reveal the date it dried up 3 million years ago. Freshwater shells show that 90,000 years ago, river acid created giant lakes and rivers and turned the Sahara green every 20,000 years. Ostrich eggshell beads indicate that just 7,000 years ago, the Sahara enjoyed its final burst of life before returning to desert. Secrets of the Sahara have finally been revealed. This desert is not a static wasteland, it's dynamic.
of giants existed on Earth before the Great Flood. So did many other ancient civilizations. Some took them for granted. Others left likeness of them in stone or wrote about them in their history. The Greeks and Romans told of blood falling from heaven and landing on the map of the earth by the sky. Who gave birth to a race of yesterday. Perhaps the most famous of all was Goliath, the Philistine, one of 5 giant brothers. Then returned to an archaeologist with a style of his own. He spent a lifetime tracking down Goliath from the Ark of the Covenant, in which the Jewish holy book of the Midrash tells us the giant had off.
Goliath bragged and went to the grave. A soldier ran over and scooped the ark up on his shoulders, blew his not open, and took the ark back to the camp of Jerusalem.
It was in this field, 15 miles southwest of present-day Jerusalem, that legend says Goliath was finally slain. Not by a giant warrior like himself, but by a puny boy, David, who, as this 9th century BC tablet indicates, would later become king of Israel.
David reached into his script. He pulled out this white thing with long leather straps. Put it on his arm and wrapped it like this. They knew it something against me with a buckler, armor, shield, sword, and I'm coming against you for the name of the Lord God of Israel. Then he reached in and pulled out another set of leather straps. But this had a stone. And like this, the shepherd boy grabbed Goliath, stunned him to the ground. Goliath fell on his hands and knees. David ran over and took the sword of Goliath, his armor sword, that had killed Hope and Peter. And with Goliath's sword, he decapitated.
Just 2 miles from where the famous fight took place stands an 80-foot overgrown mound. This is believed to be Goliath's final resting place, though no one knows for sure because it's never been answered. In the American Midwest, there are also many large mounds, which are said to be graves. An author who has sold over 15 million books and written extensively on giants is Brad Snyder.
Mass graves of giants were open. Some of the men 8 feet tall, some of them 7 feet tall, some records of men 10 feet tall, and extremely large skulls. And extraordinarily, some of these skulls had horns, some had extraordinary teeth, some had other what we would call anomalies, which are extraordinarily long skulls. And
A maverick archaeologist who has long been fascinated by legends of American giants is David Hatcher Childress.
A number of mounds in the Midwest in America were excavated starting around 1850. And in many cases, they were fine. Some people who were in excess of 7 feet tall. And in many cases, they had double rows of teeth, as well as, in some cases, 6 fingers on his hand and 6 toes on his foot.
the one that was found in Florida, Falls, California, by a group of miners, first they found this wall with little intricate hieroglyphics. They assumed that there was like gold behind the wall. They broke it down and they found this woman, 4 inches high, covered with fur and strange kinds of dust. The same tall, female, mummified
the newsmaker of the year award, journalist Jim Mars has a special interest in speculative science.
After I had to that time, I know really everybody has done it. Trying to find something. But what's interesting is that the fact that these giant running five bodies and giant fossils and bones really tell you any particular location. They were finding in Greece, they were finding in Italy, they were finding in the Middle East, they were finding in America, and even if you drive off a few of those, it's perhaps close to misinterpretation of something else, you still with a link now there that shows that everybody's trying to pick up at some point walking space. I just no,
In 1912, Rogers started coming to this isolated cave near London, Nevada, to dig out aqua and fertilizer. Inside, a surprise.
We excavated 10 to 15 feet of lava that was here in this cave. We started discovering some unusual artifacts. They found ducky toys, baskets, other things for hunting and fishing in the nearby lake. It's now drying up. But then they made some very unusual discoveries. And those were of red-haired giants that were mummified. These giants were 6.5 to 7 feet tall. In many cases, they were mummified and wrapped up like Egyptian mummies. They had long red hair going down to their shoulders. The ranchers couldn't explain it. It was the strangest thing they'd ever seen. But the Paiute Indians who lived around here knew all about it. In fact, back in 1883, Sarah Winnemucca, a Paiute Indian princess, had written a book called Life Among the Paiutes. In that book, she talked all about the giant, red-haired people who used to live around this lake and live in this cave. She claimed they were cannibals.
That tribe would eat the dead. They would make war on the people. Most people lived to work and gathered wood to fill up the mouth of the cave. At last, my people set it on fire and called out to them, "Give up or you will die." But no answer came.
Now, one of the great mysteries of the West is what happened to these giants? There were nearly 60 skeletons brought out of this cave, but today they're nowhere to be found. Is it that there is some kind of archaeological cover-up that has occurred here? Something that concerns giants?
Perhaps the entire story may be a rural legend, or like tons of buffalo bones, the remains may have been burned and used as a background and as fertilizer. Whatever the explanation, proof that there were giants here has disappeared. Yet at the same time, tantalizing clues of their existence can be found all over the world. In South America, there are giant figures carved in the rock so huge that at ground level it's hard to tell what they depict. But from the sky, that becomes dramatically clear. This one in here, known as Cervinius, more than 300 feet high, is believed to be the largest representation of a human-like figure in the world. Who carved it and why remains a mystery. Half a world away, in the United Kingdom, other giant figures stare up at the sky. This one is known as Cervinius in the capital. Cut into the chalky hillside, no one knows how long ago, it may represent a mythical hero of history. 160 miles away, a long man of middle 280 feet from head to toe. It emerges from the English hillside like a giant frog from a heaven mirror. Britain is crowded with such sites associated with giants,
An authority on the social and the justice is just for justice.
In the beginning, in Britain, it was inhabited by giants. And in many ways it was called Albion. And the whole of the story, a hero sort of came here with all his men and decided to conquer. And so they battled for a bit with all these very savage giants. And they slew most of them. But then one looked after God, they kept him on, he rose to his pride. And he had a wrestling match with the Duke of Cornwall for foreign men. And so one got the upper hand, then the other got the upper hand, then Joshua got broke from his spear. And he got so enraged he just picked up his knife and he ran to the cave and he threw him over the